In this video, I am going to talk about part 2 of the evaluation research critique assignment. So if we go back to the guidelines, we'll see when we scroll down to part 2 that part 2 is due at the end of the module in week 3. It's due on that Thursday, and there are two parts of part 2. There is a reflection piece and a revision piece. You will be doing this over the course of the module, though. This is not something that you can do at the last minute the night before. This is something that you should be doing a little bit each week, and you'll turn in your finished product at the end of the module. So, for the reflection piece, you will be keeping a reflection journal. For your reflection journal in weeks 3, 4, 5, and 6, I want you to take about 30 minutes after you have done the assignments for that week and you have done the readings for that week, and to think about what you have learned that week. And you're going to take that knowledge and apply it to the answers that you have given in part 1. So here are some questions that should be answered in each of your journal entries. So the first question is, what main topic or topics were covered in the course this week? So for example, in week 1, we covered introduction to program evaluation and ethics in evaluation. Then for number 2, you're going to be sharing 3 things that you've learned that week from the course material. And from now on, we'll call these learning points. These learning points should be things that either you didn't know before or now you have a new understanding of after going through the course material. Number 3, did you make any revisions to your part 1? So, based on what you've learned, now you can go back and revise your answers. Maybe some of the things that you wrote down weren't right. Maybe you learned about a new type of sampling and now you want to go back and have a clearer picture and write about it. You should go back and make revisions based on the new knowledge that you have. So if you do make revisions, then describe the changes that you made and how you integrated your new knowledge to answer the question. And if no, then explain how the new learning points will influence your practice as a social worker in the future. So how do you think you might use that knowledge in the future? And then lastly, I want to know, do you have any muddy points? Muddy points are concepts that you don't fully understand yet or you're confused about. So if you do have muddy points, then I want you to answer, how are you going to work on mastering those muddy points? So this might be going back and reading the chapter for the week. You might go and look at the additional study resources for the week and watch some extra videos or find more materials on the topic that you are not familiar with or are feeling uncomfortable with. Then lastly, if you've done those things and you're still feeling like you don't fully understand the concept, then reach out to me. I'm happy to help to set up a Zoom meeting to talk about it, or even to answer questions via email. All right, so the second part of part 2 is your revised critique. So each of these 4 weeks, in week 3, 4, 5, and 6, you are going to be reflecting, doing your entry, and you're also going to be making revisions to your original submission. So I want you in week 7 to also turn in a revised critique. You will turn it in to a Turnitin Dropbox on Moodle, and this will be graded a little bit differently though. Whereas in part 1, you were only graded, it was only worth 20 points, and you were graded just on completeness and following instructions. Now, this is worth 40 points, and you are also going to be graded on accuracy. You can see a breakdown of the point totals in Appendices A for part 1, and for part B, for part 2 in Appendix B. So you'll notice for your journals that you have 2 different options for how to do this. You can write them or make videos. In one more video, I will explain the differences between the written and the video format. It's important to note that you should choose one or the other. All of your entries should either be videos or written entries. You should not have a mix of both.